That's what I like to see. By the way, this is a cult. This is 100% a cult. If I haven't mentioned that before, this is 1,000% a cult. What kind of upside down, topsy-turvy talk is that? Thank you all for tuning in to Earth Tone TV. My name is Jay, and yes, it has been a while. Happy New Year, by the way. And instead of going into the nitty-gritty of why I haven't done anything in a while and why I haven't posted, I'm just going to get straight into this review so that way my video is not as long as the last one. So without further ado, let's get right into it. This is going to be a review on Severance. Severance is about Mark S., who works at Lumen, in which the employees agree to a program where their memories are split, essentially creating two versions of yourself. Your innie, which knows everything about work and work-related things, knows nothing about your outie's life, which is that version of yourself that sees the outside world. The versions of each other knows nothing about the other. And the plot itself is super dystopian, which I love, even though I don't love living in a dystopian society. Anywho, even though I'll be reviewing the second season, I will be referencing season 1, so understand that this is not a spoiler-free review. The first shot of the first episode of the second season is Mark at Lumen again, and he's running down the halls. He runs all the way to the wellness center, and it's been changed. It's been redecorated to look like nothing was ever there. After that, he goes to his old office where he expects the gang to be there, but there's new people. And so they kind of introduce themselves a little bit. And then Milchek comes in with that smile, like, welcome back. Hey girl, been too long. We find out that it's been 5 months since everything happened. Miss Cobell got fired. Mr. Milchek took her place. During that scene where Milchek is in the office talking to Mark, there's a couple things that I noticed. When Milchek gives him the newspaper, that shows them like, oh, it's been international news of what happened with the uprising at Lumen. There's a lot of redacted like information on that, which makes sense because they're not trying to let them know where they're at, what happened, all that stuff. But also makes me think like maybe they faked it. Maybe it hasn't been 5 months. Maybe it wasn't as big of a deal. Maybe they buried it with something else. But we'll see. Oh, when Milchek is sitting down in the office, behind him, the blue is matching his color blue, the shirt that he has. It's the same shade, damn near. It just makes me think of like how he's basically one with the company. And then he says that he's unsevered. And it just makes it look a little creepy because it's like, yeah, this is really Lumen's right-hander. So don't mess with him now. Also, don't ask me what Lumen does for work because I've watched 10 episodes and I still don't know. Something with numbers. If the numbers feel right, that's all I got from it. Mark basically asked, like, okay, what happened to my team? Where are they? And Milchek's like, oh, well, they didn't want to. Sorry, bud. They didn't want to come back. Mark's like, I want to hear that from them. And Milchek's like, that's not possible. I can't do that. So Mark just goes back to work with his regular, well, I guess, new employees, new crew. Since Milchek got promoted to Miss Cobell's old spot, he has a new assistant or deputy manager, something of the lines. And it's a kid, like 11, 13 age, like preteen teen age. And they call her Miss Wong. And Mark sees her, he's like, what the hell's going on? And it's so funny because a lot of people ask that same question, like, why is she a kid? One of the other new crew, who's also Mark, he asked her, he's like, why are you a child? And she said, because of the year I was born. You're right. You're right. I mean, what else can you say about that? Why are you a child? Because of the year I was born. And that stops my inquiries like that. You got it. But anyway, Mark's still in his revolutionary rah-rah stance. He's like, no, I gotta see my people. So he writes a note that under the guise of the other Mark, and he puts it in his coat so that when Milchek finds it the next day, it seems like the other Mark wrote it. But everybody knows it was Mark S. He used it as a distraction so that Mark could go to Milchek's office and call up to the board or the higher ups and be like, I need to talk to my team now, or things are going down. I promise you, I need to talk to my team now. So then Milchek is like, okay, bet. He doesn't say that he's going to take him to his team, but he takes him to the elevator. And then when the elevator opens back up, already things are different. Usually when they walk out of the elevator, it's like an analog clock and like a little cute little space. This time it opens up and there's a painting, like a big painting right in front of him. And it looks like Kier, who's the founder, it looks like Kier. By the way, this is a cult. This is 100% a cult. If I haven't mentioned that before, this is 1,000% a cult. Just the way they talk about Kier and how great he is and this and that and the third. This is a cult. Let me just make that clear. Let me be clear. This is a cult. But it's a big painting of Kier, and he's like, he has a sword in his hand, and he's like in this knight armor, and he's like basically like lending out a hand, and it's these 4 people that are looking up at him, and they're below Kier, and Kier's like above them, and it looks like he's like blessing them or like lending them a hand or something like that. It just looks like Catholic type of stained glass type of thing. When I looked at the painting a little longer, I'm like, this, I don't see my girl Helly, my raw sister. That's because she's a snitch. Sorry, I don't know what took over me. It's 4 people. Dylan looks like Dylan. Irving looks like Irving. The guy in the front doesn't really look like Mark. Maybe it could be, but it doesn't really look like Mark. And then there's no redhead, so you know Helly's not there. It looks like a girl with black hair, which looks kind of similar to one of the OG girls that we just met. So it's like, did she do something? Because she also seemed very curious about like, what's the Audi world like? And she asked Mark all these questions. And did you see the sky? And so it's like, did she do something in the past that's like she needs to be like blessed for, forgiven or whatever? And finally, one by one, everybody comes out of the elevator. First Dylan, then Irving, who's still banging on the door. So you can tell that he was switched right when he was doing the Bert thing. And then last but not least, Helly, which Mark and her might have a will they, won't they. They kissed last season, but that's because Helly thought she was going to die. We'll get into that a little later. I forgot to mention this, but when Dylan comes out of the elevator for the first time in like months, he goes up to the painting and he reads the little blurb and it says, Kier pardons his betrayers. They put that painting up purposely so they could see the betrayers being pardoned. But again, Helly's not in that picture. She's not in that painting. But as they're all like talking to each other, like, what happened? What did you see? What did you see? Huang, the little girl, comes in. She's like, okay, guys, come follow me. She leads them to the break room. She's like standing in front of the door and everybody has to like walk past her to get inside. Something that really like stuck out to me was that everybody that's walking past her has a different reaction to her. Mark sees her, recognizes her, walks in. Helly, looking down. She barely looks at Huang and looks down and walks inside. It shows that you're what? You're what? Bending the knee. To me, it seems like she's bending the knee because she already knows she still has that truth of what happened on the outside. She still has that memory. So, and now she's a little more humble. Dylan looks at her, he's like weirded out a little bit. But Irving looks her dead in her eye for a fat second. And the reason why that's so important is because you would have never thought this was for Irving. Irving was very much drinking the Kool-Aid. Kira's great. Lumen's great. Everything's great about this company. And he knew all the history behind it. He was telling people like all the innies about what happened when and telling people the paintings. And he was just in awe and like amazed about everything great about Lumen. And now, even though he's still heartbroken by what happened with Bert, and even though he's kind of confused about where he stands, he still had that resilience, that resistance to look Wong right in her eye, dead in her eye, and be like, that's what I like to see. That's, yeah, we like to see more of that. Because, I lost my man. And what? I still don't trust y'all. And I like that. So when they get into the break room, they're all forced to watch this new Lumen video, which the first shot of that video is Lumen is listening. That seems safe to you? That seems like somewhere I want to work? But basically in the video, they made it in a way where it seemed like, even though they called it the macro uprising, even though these 4 people, had a mutiny against us, we listen to their suggestions and we're going to try our best, our damnedest, to make sure they have all that they need. And we're going to have hall passes so that you can go to other departments instead of sneaking out. We took microphones out of the break room. We have pineapple bobbing. And we also have this mirror room so that you can have fun and play games with yourself. You know, the optical mirror rooms. But in the video, because it's all animated, it's like clay animation. In the video, that clay animation was literally sweating, like scared. And so I'm like, is this a new way of punishment? They're gonna call it the mirror room, but it's actually them punishing you, and it's something creepier than it's supposed to be. That's what I'm assuming that it is. In the video as well, they use the audio that they were saying. So there's a point of last season where Irving's like, let's burn this place to the ground, because he's just like mad at what happened to Bert and everything else. And they used that exact audio and clipped it in the video, and they had him look so crazy, and his head's on fire. They had him look like this evil person. They also had Mark's audio where he's like giving his like important speech, is like, why are they having us work in the dark and this and da. Use that exact same audio within that. But again, they put it under the guise of, even though this evil thing happened, we forgave these people and we're going to do our best to listen to your suggestions. So we have all these fun activities lined up for you. Like, but Kier forgave them. Kier and Lumen found it in their hearts to forgive them. So thank you. And they're like, oh, thank you, Macrodat Uprising. You made us see our ways and whatever. And it's just like, they're trying to twist it to make that seem like they're still the good guy. A very interesting way of just painting the new picture again, just retelling that history, which is what cults do. When the video ends, Milchick's like, I'm going to give you guys a choice. If you want to stay here, go back to the office and do your regular work. If you want to leave, just let me know. There's going to be no ill will. I'll let you go scotch-free. No ifs, ands, or buts. If you want to leave, let me know. The four of them are then just there to discuss, and they start whispering what they saw on the outside. Mark reveals what happened to him, about his wife being alive, about Miss Cobell being his neighbor, about the author of their new Bible, basically being his brother-in-law. He reveals those things. Then they ask Helly. Oh, what did you see up there? You know that girl lied. And it wasn't even a good lie too. She's like, oh, it's just a boring apartment, and I was alone, and I was wearing a nature shirt, and I was watching a nature show. And I tried to tell somebody about Lumen, but it was just a gardener, and he said he might tell somebody, but I really tried, guys. I really tried. But my boy Irv said, gardener? At night? A night gardener? He already peeped game. He's like, that don't sound right. Why is there a gardener in it? You know what I mean? He already heard that something don't, but he didn't press no further. Again, because my dog smart, he didn't tell the whole team about what happened. He was just more worried about, like, will I be able to go? Like, will this pain stop? He just up and leaves. And he's like, I need to walk. I need to walk, and I need to get away from this. I need like some air. Him and Dylan have like this private moment. He's hugging Dylan because he knows, because my dog's smart. Bro, y'all don't give my dog Irvin enough credit because he's smart. He might be hurt. He might be heartbroken, but he's not a dummy. He knows that they're listening, right? They're listening. And so that's why when he was hugging Dylan, he whispers in his ear. He tells him what he saw. He's like, oh, I saw Bert, and he was with his new man. And I also saw that my Audi is painting a lot of pictures of this one dark hallway with a door with a downward arrow. Dylan's like, listen, I know you hurt. I know your man is not really your man, but you need to find out what that door means. Like, there's a reason why you kept painting it, because you need to find out what that door means and what happened. But then that gets cut short when Huang tells Dylan that Milchick wants to see him in his office. And Milchick says, he's like, this is what I've been working on lately. And he shows him the blueprint of what it is and says family visitation room. And Dylan reads it out loud, and he's like, is this a place where I can come see my family? Or my family can come see me? And this is what Milchick says word for word. He says, if you take the name of the room at face value, I'd say yes. What kind of upside down, topsy-turvy talk is that? Why would you trust somebody that talks like that to you? My thing is, though, even if we do create this room for Dylan and his family, does the family have to be severed too to enter? Because then isn't his any just gonna say things about Newman? Or maybe they're gonna create a different family for him so that he can, I don't know. It just seems I already don't trust it. I already don't trust it. But then Milchick also goes on to say, don't tell the others because they might resent you for it because everybody else is single, which is bull because Mark has a family. He has a sister. He has a niece. He has a brother-in-law. He has family. So parallel to all that happening, Mark and Helly are having their own little moment. They don't talk about the kiss, obviously. Mark is like, yeah, Miss Casey being my wife, I think I want to help her out of here, help her escape. Helly just keeps mentioning like, well, she's not your wife, she's your Outy's wife. She just keeps saying that. And it's just like, girl, shut up. And then she says, even though we don't owe our Outies anything, I still want to help out Miss Casey and I still want to, save her with you. He's like, so you're staying with me? She's like, yeah. Don't trust her, Mark. She's evil. But we'll see. As it unfolds, we'll see. There's a reason why she's not in the painting. The team is coming back together. And everybody decides to stay, even Irv. I think Milchick is like planting little seeds, like Dylan's family room, Helly's lies. Those are just little seeds to help like kind of fracture what they have. At the end of the episode, there's like this weird frame where Miss Casey seems to be in another screen and it looks different, like it looks a different color and everything. And it just stops like that. Can't wait to see if that is explained a little deeper in the next episode. So what I think will happen this season, I think we will be seeing more of the new crew soon, where the one that Mark had to work with, I think they'll play a big part of what's happening. We'll probably see some other new characters, what other roles people are going to play and what other departments they're even going to open up to. Because now they have the hall passes so they can see what other departments they can go into, blase. And I think Milchick is going to be the one to tell Irving about Helly's lies. I think he's going to tell him. Either he's going to tell him directly or he's going to be like, he's going to leave something behind and be like, where did that come from? Oh, how could I have not been so da-da-da-da? Having a child in the severed program like that, we've never seen that. And apparently nobody has seen that before. So it's like, did her parents agree to this? Is she an orphan? How does she go to school? Maybe it's like a part of a governmental program. Like that's just another load of questions that I have for her and her character. Something else I'm excited for this season is that Irving and Helly are basically going to switch characters. So last season we saw Helly be the rambunctious, rebellious, seems like a cult, this seems like bull, blah, 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 blah type girl. And also last season we saw Irving be the studious, submissive soldier. And now they're switching. Not completely, because Helly's still not on that train, but she's definitely has less bite than what she used to. Either Milchick's going to be the one to tell Irving about her lies, or the team's going to notice that Helly has a lot less bite and she's going to be more defensive of like Lumen and be like, wait, hold on. And I was like, hold on, who are you? This is not the Helly that we knew. So what's really tea? But yeah, I'm excited for this new season. I can't wait to see another Macrodat Uprising. Thank you all for tuning into Earthtone TV. Again, my name is Jay. You know what to do. You've been here before. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Anything would really help. And hopefully I can keep up with these reviews more consistently. But in the meantime, I will see you again soon. See ya.